Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajeem. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Rabbana la tuzigh qulubana ba'da iz hadaytana wa hab lana min ladunka rahmah innaka antal wahhab. Ameen. Allahumma salli ala Sayyidina Muhammadin wa ala ali Sayyidina Muhammadin wa barik sallim. So this is our Tazkiatun Nafs session after Asr, right? So after Fajr it is Islahi Bayan, Attekaaf, of course Attekaaf. And this is and then after Zuhr we have Aqidah Bayan in Attekaaf, and this is Asr. After Asr it is going to be Tazkiyatun Nafs, right? So we need to understand, if I could have your undivided attention, like very kind brothers. I hope everyone slept well, mashallah. Huh? Right? Everything is okay. Everyone is okay today, right? Good, mashallah. I had a bit of struggle yesterday because of Friday, but inshallah, we should be okay. So we need to understand every human being is a combination of three things, right? Qalb, which is right here, it's qalb. And ruh, it is right here, right? And then there's nafs. So now we are discussing qalb. So may Allah elevate the status of our akabirin, make dua for them. Maulana Qasim Nanutwi rahmatullah alayhi. Let's say them together. They are our akabirin of Ahl Sunnah wal Jama'ah. Let's say them together. Maulana Qasim Nanutwi rahmatullah alayhi. So we'll say rahmatullah at the end. Maulana Rashid Ahmad Gangohi, Maulana Khalil Ahmad Saharanpuri, Maulana Muhammad Ilyas, Shaykh al-Hadith Muhammad Zikriya, Hazrat Maulana Ashraf Ali Thanvi, Hazrat Maulana Ahmad Ali Lahori, Hazrat Musa Ruhani Bazi. And these two people, the fragrance came out of their grave. And Maulana Abdul Malik Siddiqui, Khaja Ghulam Habib, Rahmatullah alayhim. MashaAllah. So they are our akabirin of Ahl Sunnah wal Jama'ah. Each and every one of them was very, very special. MashaAllah. So Maulana Ashraf Ali Thanvi rahmatullah ta'ala alayhi wrote this book, Sukoon-e-Dil. It's in Urdu. Sukoon-e-Qalb. MashaAllah, it's a beautiful, thick book. So here Hazrat has mentioned a lot of categories of heart. So we'll come to Danishmand Dil, a wise heart. So this dua, it is in Surah Al Imran, I believe, verse number 8. So we should all memorize this dua, right? And especially after Zikr Qalbi, and make a note. You can make dua after every salah, or you can do its tasbih 100 times in the morning, 100 times in the evening, and you'll see how the nur will enter into your heart, which basically means, O our Lord, Rabbana la tuzigh qulubana ba'da iz hadaytana. O our Lord, do not make our hearts crooked. Please allow not our hearts to become crooked. It's not appropriate to say do not to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala ma'azam. Our hearts, please allow our heart not to become crooked. After guidance, right? I think that would be proper, with humility. After hadayat, وَهَبْ لَنَا مِن لَدُنْكَ رَحْمَةً, and give us your rahmah. Innaka antal wahhab, and you are data. Asal data Allah hai, aur koi data nahi hai. Baki data banaye hue hain, but asal data is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Aqidah Tawheed should be very, very strong and mazboot and clear. I forgot to mention the name of the ulama when I mentioned the name. I love ulama karam, so I forgot to mention the name of Hazrat Maulana Makki Hijazi Sahab, and Mufti Taqi Usmani Sahab, and Mufti Rafi Usmani Sahab, and my Sheikh, Imam ul-Ulama, Hazrat Maulana Zulfar Ahmad Sahab. MashaAllah, they are alive. May Allah put barakah in their lives, MashaAllah. Especially Maulana Makki Hijazi Sahab has done a remarkable work. If I had time, share a story of a person who was guided through by just listening to his Sirat cassettes. And we have a sister Halaqa, MashaAllah. My wife goes to that. And they listen to the Sirah by Maulana Makki Hijazi Sahab. और उनकी ज़ुबान में तासीर भी बड़ी है, MashaAllah. And these Akabir have done great work. The Ummah should appreciate them. So, we make dua that our heart does not become crooked after guidance. You look at people born Muslim and going astray. Plenty of examples, painful examples from the history of Islam. Especially that man who was born in India, then he called himself Nabi Ma'azallah. It's just imagine. And the person I discussed earlier, during earlier session. So, it's very painful that these people were born as a Muslim, and then they were misguided. And always remember one point: every Muslim that was misguided, his first step was he rejected 4 Imams. Always remember this point. ये गुमराही की पहली सीढ़ी है. When people start rejecting Imam Abu Hanifa, Imam Malik, Imam Shafi, and Imam Ahmad bin Hanbal. ये हमेशा याद रखिएगा. Can you remember this? Anyone who rejects these 4 Imams, back off from them. Okay? And we ask Allah for Hadayah, right? And do listen to 4 Imam after you're done with Attekaaf. But right now, I want you to listen to me. Okay? Right? By Umar Suleiman. Please do, Brother Umar Suleiman, may Allah reward him. Do listen to him. I listened to it and was benefited, mashallah. The next is na sochne wala dil. A heart that does not think. Heart that does not
think.
So pay attention to this ayah now. This ayah is serious, okay? No yarning. Please. वो भी मेरे सामने बैठ गया. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. Pay attention to it, please. وَلَقَدْ ذَرَانَا لِجَهَنَّمَ كَثِيرًا مِنَ الْجِنِّ وَالْإِنسِ. We created jinn and human beings for hellfire. Pay attention. This ayah really makes you tremble. We created lots of jinn and human beings for hellfire. Lahum qulubun la yafqahuna biha. Lo, they had hearts with which they would think. Walahum ayunun la yubsiruna biha. They had eyes with which they would see. Walahum azanun la yasma'una biha. They had ears with which they would hear. Ulaika kal an'am. They are animals. Balhum adal. They're worse than animals. Ulaika humul ghafilun, and they're ghafil. So ghafla is a very big disease, spiritual disease. Ghaflat. As Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says in the Quran, Bala takum min al ghafilin. Don't be among those who are ghafil. No. Maulana Ahmad Ali Lahori rahmatullah alayh is one of my role models. I love him. And my Quran that I recite is Quran Aziz. Often in my tabligh, I use his Urdu translation. So he was Sahib Kashf. He would not accept hadiyah from anyone. His taqwa was exemplary. And there was often food was not cooked in his home for days. In Maslai Khatm Nubuwwat, he would go, I want you to listen to this. Our sacrifices, our मेहनत किसी ने की, क्रेडिट कोई ले गया. इन्ना लिल्लाहि व इन्ना इलैहि राजिऊन. The Prime Minister at that time had to say, I was a young man, I was in Pakistan, I remember. He had to save his government because an incident had happened and there was a nationwide movement against that group that does not believe Prophet ﷺ as the last prophet, right? So the Prime Minister Sahab did not have any choice but to pass that bill. But actual credit goes to Mufti Mahmud Sahab Rahmatullah alayhi. He was at the thick of that situation, at the heart of that situation, among other very pious people of those times. So Maulana Ahmad Ali Lahori Rahmatullah alayhi used to go to jail frequently because of Khatam-e-Nubuwwat, right? So he was Sahib Kashf. So one day Maulana Ahmad Ali Lahori Rahmatullah alayhi went to the market and he saw snakes, he saw dogs, he saw cats, and what have you. No, what had happened, he met a very pious person with a lot of noor on his face. And after Assalamu alaikum wa alaikum salam, he asked Ahmad Ali, Insan kahan baste hain? Where are human beings? And he said, Hazrat, ye insan hi to hai. And then a kafiya overwhelmed him. Ek ruhani kafiyatun pe tari hui. And then he saw snakes and dogs and cats and what have you. And then after that kafiya was over, he could not find that person with that Nurani face. Then he used to cry in the Quran and he used to say, Malik to sabka ek, Malik to magar Malik ka koi ek. Malik to magar Malik ka koi ek. Yes, Allah is the Rabb of everyone, but there are very few people who are sincere to, for the sincere obedience of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So I heard from a Mufti Sahab years ago that some people will be raised on the Day of Judgment chained like animals because they, in the disobedience of Allah, they went to that extent. So this is a very powerful ayah. It's in Surah Al-Araf, verse number 179, according to this book. Next, hearts that tremble. लर्ज उठने वाले दिल. इन्नमल मुमिनून अल्लज़ीना इज़ा ज़ुकिरल्लाह वजिलत क़ुलूबुहुम व इज़ा तुलियत अलैहिम आयातुहु ज़ादतहुम ईमाना. It's in Surah Al-Anfal, verse number 2. The true believers are those, when they hear the zikr of Allah, their hearts tremble. And when the verses of Quran are recited before them, their iman increases. So we beg Allah and we become obedient servant of Allah to an extent that we fall in this category. Right? Ameen. Hearts that have been sealed. इस तरह हद से गुजरने वालों के दिलों पे हम ठप्पा लगा देते हैं. Hearts, people who exceed the limits of Sharia. They are Muslims. Yes, they are Muslims by fatwa. But they become so disobedient of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that they don't care please pay attention to me, what is Tawheed and what is Shirk. They don't care what is Iman and what is Kufr. Subhanallah. They don't care what is halal and what is haram. They don't care what is sunnah and what is bidah. We have to be very careful, right? So we are going to only eat hand-cut chicken, right? Yes? Huh? Even if it costs extra, fine. That's why lately I have been I'm not mentioning any name, but I'm at least not eating chicken from the market. because it affects your heart. And I've seen some pious people in this community, they're very careful. When they're invited, they normally avoid chicken. Okay? So we have to be very careful, please. Only the place where we have 100% assurance, and they have given us, they have shown us the receipts and everything. They've given, and you know the name of the place, only buy chicken from there. I'm not saying anything against any other halal meat market, but I would encourage, if they see this video, I would encourage them, brother, please only make hand-cut chicken available. No other chicken should not be even in your place, in my opinion. I'm not a mufti, I'm not teaching a ruling. You can consult Mufti on Sahiban, but at least we should be very careful about these things, right? Yesterday in Jummah I spoke about lying, right? Yes, we're all listening? Yes or no?
Yes. Yes.
Huh? So we have to make tawbah from lying, right?
Yep.
We are not going to lie. Sometimes you have to speak with wisdom, with hikmah. But still, that's another, you have to be very careful. As a Muslim, we are not going to lie. We are not going to backbite. We are not going to listen to backbiting. We have to make tawbah in Ramadan. What was the other sin? Lust, anger, and plenty of other sins. Anger is not a sin, by the way. You have to understand. But it's a curable disease. When a person, Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, when a person commits a sin, his heart is sealed. There's a spot on his heart. When he commits a sin again, there's another spot on his heart. When he commits sin again, there's another spot on his heart. A time comes when his heart becomes darkened. Allah Ta'ala uspe muhr jabbariyat laga dete hain. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala seals it with jabbariyat. So we have to be very careful about sin. We need to understand, right? We're all students of Tazkiatun Nafs, right?
Yes.
And the beginning of Tazkiatun Nafs is tawbah from sin. Consider sin as a sin. Each and every sin is a sin. And we need to stay away from it and do a lot of tawbah and istighfar. And it's possible. I assure you. Acha. Now here is a dil pe mohr kaise lagti hai? So how hearts are sealed? And then Sheikh has mentioned the famous ayah, we all know, verse number 7 of Surah Baqarah, Khatam Allahu ala qulubihim. Allah seals their heart because of sin. Okay. And then here Hazrat has mentioned inkar ki nahusat, So that's why we covered earlier that we should avoid heated religious discussions. We should avoid what? Heated religious discussions, okay? My humble request to all of you is, do not get into munazara. Leave it up to Maulana Ilyas Luman. He's good at it, mashallah. And he has developed some good people. Leave it up to them. We should not get, that's not the mizaj of my sheikh. Alhamdulillah. And I'm a student of Tazkiatun Nafs. So I want all of you, nice brothers. Because if you get into that kind of situation, your heart will begin to become hardened. Aapka dil sakht hota chala jayega. Okay? So always, if people are saying, maazallah, negative things about ulama karam, and they're Muslims, they're giving their own opinions, then my request is to keep quiet. Do muraqabah. Just keep quiet. And do tawbah and istighfar in your heart. If, for example, they are one's family members, and they have a habit of always discussing religion. और 5 दफ़ा फजर की नमाज के लिए उठने की तौफीक नहीं होती. Am I right or wrong? always discussing religion, avoid that. अपने जिक्र अज़कार में लगे रहे. So qalb की नौरानियत रहेगी, right? Our qalb will be munawwar and illuminated, inshallah. We have to obey Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. We have to follow the teachings, the noble teachings of Sayyidina Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Mutmain dil, mutmain dil. Ala bi dhikrillahi tatma'innul qulub. Beware, through the zikr of Allah, in it lies the satisfaction of heart, right? So, neither wealth, please pay attention to me, neither wealth nor a big status in government, nor not having lot of real estate, not having, that's what Sheikh has written. Nothing can give person the deep inner peace. It is the obedience of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And that should be our goal, right? That should be our goal. And when you go deep into Tazkiatun Nafs in the field of Ruhaniyat, then we acquire a spiritual status. It's called Batini Jam'iyat. What is it called? Batini Jam'iyat. Remember that. Yes, Brother Usman, Brother Abdul Rahman, Brother Furqan, yes? You're going to remember this? Batini Jam'iyat means you have deep inner peace in your heart. Like Ibrahim, Adam Rahmatullah Alayhi used to say, if people knew, if these kings knew how much peace we have in our hearts, they would attack us with their armies. अगर बादशाहों को पता चलता कि हमारे दिलों में कितना सुकून है, तो वो अपनी फौजों से हम पे चढ़ाई कर देते. Right? So then you will not have depression and all that, this kind of stuff. Allah will save us all. So we need to be obedient. Earlier Muslims did not lie, and they were successful merchants. We don't have to lie. Because if I start telling you stories, then will be plenty of stories popping up, but I'm going to avoid them. MashaAllah. I have good news. Iftar time is close. Pretty close, inshallah. I'm watching out. I'm watching out for all of you. The next one is a serious stuff. I think we'll be done after the next one. And then probably I'll share a story and then get into dua and recitation, inshallah. Blind heart. The next one is?
Blind heart.
فَإِنَّهَا لَا تَعْمَى الْأَبْصَارِ وَلَكِنْ تَعْمَى الْقُلُوبُ الَّتِي فِي الصُّدُورِ. Subhanallah. These are not the eyes that are blind, but these are the hearts in the chest that become blind, right? And Hazrat has said this blindness is more serious than actually the physical blindness. When a person's heart becomes blind. Hazrat has said a person's hearts become blind because of ghafla. And there's a dua of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Allahumma inni as'aluka min al-ghaflati wal-ayla wal-maskana wal-zilla. The long dua. Right? So, he said, then a person becomes ghafil, he does not distinguish between hasanat and sayyat, good deed and bad deed. Neki और गुनाह का शौर खत्म हो जाता है उससे. माशाल्लाह. What a beautiful explanation. Allah Hazrat के दर्जात को बुलंद फरमाए. आमीन. Subhanallah. He does not know the difference between friend and enemy, right? He does not know the difference between darkness and light. He does not know what benefits him and what harms him. And when person's heart is blind, then he commits big sins. Credit card fraud. Huh? Someone told me this market is very high. Eh? But one day they're going to get caught. Right? So the person might as well not do these things. There's nothing good in this prosperity. You want to become prosperous? Fine. Become through halal means. MashaAllah, I'm very impressed by you, Brother Suleiman. You're a very good employee of your company, MashaAllah. I see you're up at night and during the day, MashaAllah, you're working. MashaAllah. That's why you are a good Muslim, MashaAllah, a good example. MashaAllah. American government will be happy to have you as its citizen, MashaAllah. American government appreciates peace-loving, hard-working American Muslims, MashaAllah. And they're in every field. MashaAllah. So we should make sure we don't go for that kind of stuff as a Muslim, right? Like credit card fraud and God knows what, I don't know. मुझे तो झूठ बोलना भी नहीं आता, सच्ची बात है. मैं कोई अपनी वलायत नहीं आप पे साबित कर रहा. I don't even know how to lie. I have to think how to lie, as I might as well not lie. Since you don't know it, stay away from it. Right, Usman? क्या फायदा झूठ बोलने का? हम सच बोलें ताकि हमारी दुआएं कबूल हों. When we will lie, Allah will not accept our dua. It's a bad thing. So a person commits big sins and he does not realize he's committing. Backbiting is nothing for this person. Day begins with backbiting and ends with backbiting. Tawbah mere Allah, tawbah. Listen to it. नेक लोगों की सोबत अच्छी नहीं लगती. This person does not want to become close and sit in the soba of pious people. ये बहुत खतरनाक चीज है. बुरे आदमियों की सोबत उसकी अच्छी लगती है. And he likes the soba of bad people. Then the Sheikh has given the example of Qawm Nuh. Innahum kanu qawman ameen. The entire nation was blind. وَمَنْ كَانَ فِي هَذِهِ أَعْمَى فَهُوَ فِي الْآخِرَةِ أَعْمَى وَأَضَلُّ سَبِيلًا. जो इस दुनिया में अंधा रहा वो आखिरत में भी अंधा रहेगा. Subhanallah. Person who is blind in this dunya will be blind in a person who is blind in this dunya will be blind in akhirah. So let me give you one example as one story and then we're done. There's one person, he recited Kalimat Tawbah with Hazratji. He was an attorney in Pakistan and he decided he made Tawbah. And he was an attorney, a lawyer, and he said he would not lie. Just imagine, an attorney in Pyare Pakistan. And he says he's not going to lie. So every time a case came to him, he said, if it's lie, I'm going to get out of it. So a point came when cases stopped coming. No case was coming to him. Because he should tell people, I'm not going to lie. So his wife was also very pious. She was not giving him a hard time. He said, you have made tawbah? Let's get through it. Wallahu khairur raziqeen. Allah who gives sustenance to a poisonous snake and a scorpion. We are the ummati of Rasulullah. He will feed us as well. This should be a firm inner commitment. I am not going to lie. Inshallah. And then what happened? After 2 or 3 years of test, now, see, who controls khair and shar? Who is Razaq?
Allah.
How many people are saying Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? Who is Razaq?
Allah.
Iftar is coming soon. After 2 or 3 years, cases start coming back to him again. Of whom? Who were Muslim. ये पाकिस्तान में लोग विरासत तकसीम नहीं करते, तौबा मेरे अल्लाह। अल्लाह हमें भी हिदायत दे, उनको भी हिदायत दे। It's not right. जुल्म है ये जुल्म। लोगों को उनका हक दे दो। So now, when he took that case to the court, the judges knew this attorney does not lie. So the judges, when he took the case, the judge would deliver his verdict in his favor. And his practice picked up again. And finally, when some judges retired, the government needed honest judges, he became a judge. Happy ending, right?
Yeah.
Yes? There's always a happy ending of taqwa and sabr, right? One ayah is the extract of Surah Al-Yusuf. One ayah is the La anta Yusuf? Are you Yusuf? Ana Yusuf wa haza akhi. I am Yusuf and this is my brother. Qad manna Allahu alayna. Tahqiq, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has been kind to us. Innahu man yattaqi wa yasbir. Innahu man yattaqi wa yasbir. The one who has taqwa and does sabr. Allah made Yusuf alayhi salam the king of Egypt. When a beautiful woman, a queen, seduced him, an environment of sin and seduction, an environment of sin and seduction. There's a lot of lustful temptations out there. Yusuf alayhi salam was presented this opportunity. Hay talak. And what did he say? Ma'azallah. What did he say?
Ma'azallah.
So inshallah, we will, if this test comes, I hope it never. मैं तो अल्लाह से बहुत दुआएं करता हूँ, या अल्लाह उठा लेना उस वक्त से पहले, बेहयाई से बचाना मेरे अल्लाह. But if this situation arises, what are we supposed to say? Ma'azallah. Remember Yusuf alayhi salam. Right? Everyone is going to remember Yusuf alayhi salam? We'll say Ma'azallah. मेरे साथ कहें या अल्लाह या अल्लाह या अल्लाह किसी गरीब के दिल को गरीब ना करना, मैं आजमाइश के काबिल नहीं मेरे अल्लाह, मुझे गुनाहों का मौका नसीब ना करना. Ameen. Make dua, may Allah protect us from immorality and our coming generations until the day of judgment. Inshallah. Month of Ramadan, we make tawbah from sins, we go to paradise. A Muslim who fails to make tawbah in Ramadan, my brother, my sister, there's hellfire out there. Make tawbah. It's time to make tawbah for all of us, inshallah. We'll inshallah resume tomorrow after Fajr, inshallah. Assalamu alaikum.